Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I hope you guys have your coffee locked and loaded and you're sitting tight because we are going to talk about some pretty interesting topics today, beginning with Bitcoin could bounce hard if a certain thing happens, or it could crash due to the DXY. We are also going to talk about why Binance is leaving Canada and the impact on the market. And then we are looking at some very important crypto metrics for the next bull run heading into the next year, heading into the halving. And we are going to talk some things about Veve, burn update, stacking whales, the Ecomi price, and many, many topics more. And obviously also about your topics, guys. And all of that right after the intro. So there we go. Welcome, and good morning. Make sure that you keep in mind that I am a crypto and NFT investor, not a financial advisor. So please do your own research before you ape full degen into Bitcoin, the altcoins, Ecomi, Veve, fractionalized NFTs, or whatever other topic that we are going to talk about here. So there we go. Dukin Kuva is here. Morning, y'all. Smarty Pants says, let's go. Good to see you again. You're being on a marathon on my streams, no matter which hour I'm coming on. Jump to Veve wallet, rank 26 as of last week. Holy moly. You have been stacking, which fits right into that category, stacking whales on Omi, right? That's crazy. But as always, we are going to start with the Bitcoin news. Then, if any, we are going to talk about the altcoins and then about the NFT space, mostly with Veve. So let's jump in. Also, I want to quickly thank each and every one of you who are channel members and therefore hopefully have that red cycle in my live chat. And for everyone who is watching this after the live stream, make sure to check out the description if I already have the timestamps ready so you can find your favorite topics or jump right to the Veve content. But with that out of the way, let's jump in and I'll share my screen for you guys so that we are looking and talking about the same stuff. There we go. So Bitcoin could jump nearly 70% if the US defaults on its debt, Standard Chartered analyst says. And we are looking into this and also what could be happening. Obviously, this is a very provoking headline because Bitcoin could climb then 20,000 US dollars if US default happens, says Geoff Kendrick, who is an analyst. Not every crypto would act similarly, though, with some behaving more like equities. So actually, the optimal trade would probably be long Bitcoin, short Ethereum. Now, the reason why he's saying that is if such a jump in Bitcoin happens, that means that whales would also allocate money from altcoins into Bitcoin. So from risk on to less risk on assets within that space, which then Bitcoin would be the least risk on asset after stable coins. So with the looming debt ceiling crisis showing no signs of resolution, both bond and equity markets have become jittery. But while some investors are fearful of a historic default, one asset could potentially rise, which is Bitcoin. Describing a US default as low probability, high impact event, head of FX research says it may cause Bitcoin to jump about that amount, which would be crazy because another 20,000, that would bring us to 46,000. It's not out of the world, but if the US defaults on their loans, on their debt, that has catastrophic events in consequence for the rest of the world, because that means that they're defaulting on paying back the rest of the world also, and they probably then would also default on a lot of U.S. internal essential services, so to say, like security, like social securities, like police, like military, whatsoever. That would be then officially the end, probably the end of the US dominance in the world, if that would happen. And at the same time, you have the BRICS countries to set up a gold standard backed currency altogether. That cannot be good. So, in my opinion, there's no way that that the Congress is really defaulting. Instead, they will raise the debt ceiling. There is another one that I wanted to share with you guys, and that says here, German minister calls for maturity on US debt ceiling talks. We have to avoid further risks. So everyone is chiming in, I think, more because that is leading to some good press for yourself. So these guys want to just have a talk about this as well, in my opinion, because we would see right in this article that it's not too far away that this debt ceiling increase is happening. So what's happening? Time is running out for an agreement, with US Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen warning earlier this month that without a deal, the largest economy in the world could be default by June. That's the date when the US is basically out of money in that terms of paying interest on their debt. Democratic leaders want the limit to be raised, but Republican lawmakers have called for spending cuts to be agreed before anything is approved. For everyone who doesn't know, that's the German minister Christian Lindner that they are talking about, but his role in this article is basically only having someone to have something to say about this, because the real essence is in something else here, and that is the US Congress trying to find compromise on that limit, which refers to the maximum amount of money that the two chambers allow the federal government to borrow. And the federal government borrowing that money means basically that this is the amount of money that the chambers allow the Fed to not the Fed basically, but when the Fed is lowering interest rates, what they allow them to print. So basically, they are agreeing here on what they are going to print during the next 2 years. Democratic leaders want the limit to be raised, but Republican lawmakers have called for spending cuts to be agreed before this is approved. So that's the essential sentence here. And guys, if you enjoy this, there are 15 people here. Good morning to everyone. Smash up the like button, subscribe if you haven't yet. Please do me the favor. It doesn't cost you anything, but gives the algorithm a nice little boost that I can need or I can use in this morning stream. Good morning, Luke. Thank you for supporting me all the time. A true warrior of my streams. Good to see you here. So, Republican lawmakers have called for spending cuts to be agreed before anything is approved. So, if they agree on the spending cuts in some of the areas, then they will approve for trillions and trillions being printed. So, basically, the US is kicking down the can of inflation, and more likely than not, in the next days, the Congress will approve, together with the spending cuts, that the debt ceiling can be raised. And that's also what we are seeing in this chart here. No, independently from any administration, the debt ceiling has always been raised, and probably always the other side has brought in some condition so that they can stay politically alive, right? So you see here, Democrats blue, Republicans red. No matter which one was governing, they had the money printer go brrr, and when the money printer goes brrr, then that was good for risk on assets, that was good for equity markets, and so on. So yeah, so that's basically what has been happening. And maybe maybe we look quickly onto some Bitcoin metrics here, why Bitcoin is essentially due to a run then it doesn't have to. It won't happen exactly in the beginning of when they approve it. But what is happening is that it will fit right into the next Bitcoin cycle. Yeah. So Blaze is here. Good morning, Blaze. They'll turn the money printer on really soon. Yes, they are going to turn the money printer on really soon, and it will fit the 4-year cycle, as I will show you in a second here. But this is coming out here from the Glassnode, and basically what we are seeing here is Bitcoin amount of hodled or lost coins, basically only going up. So hodled coins have been actually, so people have been selling and taking profit a lot of coins here in the upper fields of the bull market. That's always when a lot of coins get dumped and then they are getting reaccumulated. But what we see is there's a clear trend of Bitcoin that is hodled going up, so that the amount of Bitcoin that is hodled or lost is above 7.6 million already, right? So 7.6 million, probably 8 million, somewhere there. We are, and of that, if we see the baseline where it's coming to, there must be some, let's say, some limit of really lost coins that is somewhere around 5 million or so, probably, of lost Bitcoin forever. Yeah, great for risk on assets. Risk on assets are the worst in a bear market. Risk on assets are the best in a bull market. Good morning, mate. Yeah, we're talking about this in a second, Vivi Hadoken, TTV. But let me just get through the Bitcoin stuff here first. So this one from Stock Money Lizard, also interesting here for the cycle. So we always have an accumulation phase that is based off of a trend line, then a distribution phase, as we had seen before, and then we have another reaccumulation phase, each bear market, and then we get our markup. And this is very good reflected in history here with the 4-year cycle. The 4-year cycle has never failed so far after the halving. So we have 3 past cycles to base ourselves on. That's way better than guessworks without looking at the past. So, for example, people always say, past performance doesn't indicate future result. It doesn't, because it doesn't tell us anything about how far we could go here, right? But if you are, as we will see, is that the past has always told us if certain criteria are met, certain things are happening. For example, in the past, every time the Fed is raising interest rates, that this is the first time for Bitcoin, but that risk on assets have been selling off, right? For example, right? And then they have continued to sell off when these rates are decreased, but at a certain point of decreasing those rates, the market has turned around. So what we see right now here is for Bitcoin that every time in the 4-year cycle, there is a bear market, a reaccumulation phase, bear market, reaccumulation phase, bear market, reaccumulation phase, and then a massive pump in this market. So now we are in this dump phase, and probably, as we see here from these both-sided wicks, this is the monthly Bitcoin chart, I think. That must be the monthly or something like, or 3 months even. So what we will have now is a couple of months of this sideways accumulation. It's getting boring, guys, and people will continue to spread the narrative of, it's only going sideways, but the big crash is coming. But if you look at what we have seen before with the money printer being turned on potentially in the future, that could be exactly how this could be playing out. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months of sideways action after the sell-off, which is from now the end of the year, and then a massive pump. Now, what we also can assume is that 6 months from now may not be enough to head into the bigger pump. So this can't be 1 month chart charts, because that's too few of candles. Here we have more candles, right? So I don't know what happened here, but probably we need some more candles here. I think we will go into the middle of 2024 with that. So let's look at Bitcoin real quick, because that's exactly what we have had before. So what you have seen there in these charts, 2012, 2016, 2019, heading into the halving, is also reflected here, right? So you have a pump, a pump, a pump after bear market, and bear market. That's the logarithmic chart, just showing, it basically shows returns so everything is in relation to specific returns. And the first thing that we can note here is that no matter how deep the bear market was, that's the way we're going, right? And then there is this, there is the bear market, the sideways accumulation, the bear market, the upwards accumulation, the bear market, the sideways accumulation, right? The bear market, potentially this sideways accumulation phase, or another pump, and then sideways accumulation phase coming in. This is the Bitcoin monthly chart. Every candle here is 1 month. Now, turning on the candles here, I've literally marked where we should be at the Bitcoin top and then head into altcoin season. So you see, this is pretty far out, but what we should be having is maybe another pump, and then the sideways accumulation, and then head into our Bitcoin rally, right? And according to the diminishing returns, even if we get a 200% Bitcoin bull rally, right, that would bring us to somewhere here. That would bring us to 180,000. So you're seeing right now live. I have this since a couple of weeks. So this would be the Bitcoin bottom 2022 and the Bitcoin top 2025. And I'll leave that in, guys. I'll leave that in so that we can see how accurate or how wrong I am. So let's look at also the DXY here. Basically, let's look at one thing first, because in Bitcoin, because we need to see where we stand, and that's the daily chart. So what we had talked on this channel about is that we might fall out of this head and shoulders, and we have. Now we are retesting here and see if we can reclimb this level. So Bitcoin is coming up, but be aware, guys, especially as traders, this could be a bearish retest, like we had the dead cat bounce to come and seek this support at 25,000. It's a possibility. However, if we get this approval of the money printing, it could be actually that we are going to reclimb, right, and then continue the sideways accumulation until we break this overhead resistance and pump again. So that, as you know, on this channel, no final prediction, only possibilities and likelihoods. If you don't like that, I cannot help you, because unfortunately the world isn't, everyone who is relying on TA is like, more likely than not, this is a head and shoulders, you fall out, right? But if that's the case, you also have to, you cannot go by just guessworks. You also have to say, this is the head and shoulders and this is the target, right? So then you have to assume that this is a dead cat bounce, and you go and test this, and then from there you continue, right? So that's basically what I am looking at. You cannot then go only half of the TA and do the guessworks here. But it also can happen that this was already the testing down from the whales, and that they want to liquidate right now everyone who is doing the TA. So there is no 100% TA that will tell you where it's going. But if I had to say it, we would take out all of these stop sells. We would go down here, test, and then come back up. That's what I'm assuming. Yeah, so the middle of 2022 is a good possibility, in my opinion, as Veve Hadouken TV says here. I think I think that's when the halving is through. That's when the after halving stuff goes on, and that's where also people will position themselves, or that's how long I think you have to position yourselves into NFTs and altcoins, because there's no way that altcoin season and that massive altcoin seasons are happening. There are, from time to time, altcoins will pump on Bitcoin profit taking, like we had seen it here before in these areas. But yeah, but that's it. So let's look at the DXY quickly, because there's only one driver of bull and bear markets for Bitcoin, right? So what we had seen here is that after rate hiking, DXY topped out again, and the DXY basically is, just for everyone who doesn't know it, the DXY is a basket of currencies in the world against the US dollar. So, and this is the daily chart of the DXY. So the US dollar has been gaining value during that rate hiking environment, and during that money print, or when the other central banks didn't print money, but when the other central banks didn't raise the interest rates, but the US did. So the US was ahead. Now, what's happening here right now is that they have been falling off a cliff, and that was almost exactly the point where Bitcoin started to find their bottom. So let's actually look at this comparison. So Monday, September 22 was the absolute top, and then it rallied 2 times until November, right? So it topped out September to November, right? And Bitcoin bottom, oops, sorry, still in drawing mode. Bitcoin bottom was in November 22. Actually, here is another bottom. So basically, this whole thing is the bottom, right? So November, we have our bottom. So DXY was front running Bitcoin. DXY topped out end of September initial. So 1 month before Bitcoin started pumping, DXY topped out. But when did Bitcoin really turned around? It was in November, right? So that's when the DXY fell off a cliff. So if you see that, that's when Bitcoin starts rallying, right? So you see it falls off a cliff when Bitcoin finds their bottom, and then Bitcoin starts pumping. So now here's the thing that I'm a little bit worried about. Let's be honest here, guys. I'm a little bit worried about this one here, and we'll look at how this plays out. So I'm worried about this one, because if you draw a trend line here from the very top down to this dead cat bounce in the DXY, we have broken this trend line, and we might be retesting it here. So if this is a fake out, we're good. But otherwise, if we start rallying from here with the DXY, we could find ourselves here with a double bottom, and then we would head lower for BTC again, right? The question is, could we just rally and then fall again? Yes, we could. And that's the likely scenario if the US starts quantitative easing again and basically printing money again, right? So as you see here, if we go further back in the DXY, so whenever basically it was losing in value again here, so if you go back here, that yellow mark in the DXY is the inception of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has never seen this before, but also has never seen this before. So basically, you could argue that constantly the DXY is actually in a rally here, which many people don't do. But in the broader picture, bulls and bear markets have been drawn out by the DXY. So if you look at this, this is a Bitcoin bull market, and this is a Bitcoin bull market. Those are the last two This is the massive Bitcoin bear market, yeah, and this is the first Bitcoin bull market. So if you look at this, every time the DXY is dropping, there is a bull market. So this is a bull market, this is a bull market, and potentially here we'll find another bull market, right? If if we really drop hard, then we'll find us the same pattern here of bull markets. That's what the DXY is all about. So we are going to, from now on, we are going to closely monitor this, because the DXY will tell us when Bitcoin season is really coming. Vivis Hadoken says, it's funny because Omi is looking into listing just before the end of this year, it seems. Yes. And if they are doing that, then Omi is going to boom hard, if they can pull that off. The one thing that's needed for this is volume. And here's the thing. Maybe we look at Omi. Yeah, we'll look at Omi in a sec. We'll look at Omi. Yeah, let's look at Omi right now. So here's Omi token, the Ecomi token. Actually, I forgot one topic that I promised. So let's do that first. So before we look into the Ecomi token, because I announced that topic, I have to do it. So quickly here, Binance announced the exit from Canada, citing regulatory tensions. And that's also something that could drive us down to 2020 to 25,000 still, because of the FUD that's basically going around this, because every YouTuber in the world will talk about how this is bad for crypto and so on, and many people will believe that. So maybe retail gets played here by whales. So world's largest crypto exchange by volume said new guidance related to stable coins and investor limits prompted the exit. So quickly here, we had high hopes for the rest of the Canadian blockchain industry, the company Binance said in a Friday tweet. Unfortunately, new guidance related to stablecoins and investor limits provided to crypto exchanges makes Canada market no longer tenable for Binance at this time. And the reason for this is that in February, the Canadian Securities Administration, CSA, revealed new guidance that prohibited crypto asset trading platforms within the country from allowing customers to buy or deposit stablecoins without the CSA prior approval, which is basically, it kills the business of Binance, because imagine that every crypto trading platform has basically customers to buy or deposit they can't allow them to buy or deposit stable coins without the approval of the CSA. And the CSA is basically the SEC of Canada, right? So they would give up completely their business model onto the process of the SEC of Canada. Obtaining approval would require the crypto trading platform to pass CSA's various due diligence checks, which means that they would go out of operation in Canada just because of that. So basically, those regulations kill the business of crypto exchanges, which is why they want to leave Canada, right? So that means also that holders of coins have to get out of Binance and into self-custody or other exchanges if they want to have access to their coins ever again. So if you're from Canada, you better get your stuff out of Binance. It's not tomorrow that they will shut down, but they will shut down their operations there, at least for the time being. And I tell you for whom that's bad. That's bad for Canada, not for Binance, because Binance will just continue their operations in other countries. But it's something where some people might say, okay, I'll just sell my stuff on Binance, get my money out, and then move into something else, right? So yeah, that put sell pressure. Now, with that said, let's get to the Omi token here as promised. So look at this. We had been saying this all along here on Crypto Morning Coffee. Why can't I draw? Why can't I draw? What's that? Let me quickly refresh this here. Reload. Why doesn't it let me draw here? And why is this a weekly chart now? There we go. Daily chart. Why does it look like this right now? Okay, here's the drawing probably that I made. Okay, sorry about that, guys, but I got rugged here by TradingView. So yeah, let's quickly get rid of this painting that looks like 3-year-old drew in some stuff, and look at the Omi price. So as Viviadukin said, it's funny because Omi is looking into the listing just before the end of the year, it seems. So yeah, and that's, in my opinion, where you have more downside, right, for Omi. You see this right now. We had this bounce up here, this dead cat bounce, and now we are looking to move sideways, but there's still no strength, right? So there's no strength in the price whatsoever, and therefore I still believe that we come lower here. And I mean, if you look, the end of the year is like it's somewhere out here, right? So there's still a lot of time to go. We could be going lower, still have a collapse event until we get OMI utility. There's no reason why this shouldn't be going lower. I have shown you before in the streams, in the morning streams from before, that there is more downside to come because whales are 20x up on their price, right? So yeah. Good. Now let's look at this as well. Smarty Pants has said it before. He has become number 26, just not right in the top 25 holders here of Veve. So this is the net accumulation chart of Veve from the 8th of May until the 14th of May, which is just one day ago. And so we have Smarty Pants here, probably being soon in the top 25, which is a good thing, because also the other 23 and 24 and 25 are not really accumulating much. So he could jump into 23 in the meantime. Now, still, we have whale accumulation, whale stacking here. With our, actually, there is this one flipper here all the time that has a negative negative accumulation. Oh, actually, there we go. So Smarty Pants must be somewhere here. Probably it's, I don't know, probably it's this here, and it's not up to speed from yesterday still. Yeah, so maybe it's this 27 here. I don't know. He'll tell us if he's still here. Guys, smash the like button for me, please. If you enjoy this morning streams, I'll be online around this time every morning. Vivi Hadouken also says, when do you think regulations will be put into place? I think it takes time. Regulation. I mean, the EU already has come out with regulations with MiCA, which were some pretty smooth regulations for some things like stablecoins and so on. But nothing too hard, nothing that kills the crypto space. And I think regulations are a good thing if they are not like in Canada, basically making everyone dependent on bureaucratic processes that take ages for approvals. Jimbo Lee Lingo, welcome to the stream. Hello, Master PH. Good morning to you, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. So as we see, whales stacking hard. Danny Boy stacked a couple of, no, actually that's not here. Here we go. I think that's Danny Boy's wallet. He stacked. Dr. Profit stacked 16 more collectibles, has 80 sales, but a higher net accumulation. So some rebalancing going on here for Dr. Profit, as it seems. If that's correct, but it must be correct. So Dr. Profit actually has sold some stuff, which also could be, it could be that this VVX tracker actually counts the gems that went into the gauntlet as sales. I think that's the case because if we look at the chart here, we've never seen so many sales. I think that's the case. I think the VVX tracker is calculating gems that are being burned or collectible burns in general as sales, which is then why we have this weird selling going on. So I think that's what the data shows us. And that's also why net accumulation is de facto down, because now we have like everyone who forged a gauntlet has effectively removed 6 collectibles from the market. The 5 stones plus the soul stone that they have crafted, which is then theoretically another collectible down. So we also had Vivi Hadouken saying before, and I couldn't get to this. So I just bought a rare Holiday Groot 764, and it got me thinking that we really should have gift boxes for these collectibles with the option to put a passcode on it or not. Yeah, 100% sure. Gift boxes, and also I'm a huge in favor of these loot box styles, so that you buy a blind box and it stays boxed until you decide to unbox it. So you should be able to buy a gift box, and then also this one. Yeah, it's good night at Jimbo Lelingo. Good night, midnight. I'm in Monterrey, Mexico, my friend. So then, greetings to Mexico. Let me know where you all are. Just have to get up quickly here and look at something in the house. Give me 1 second. I'll be back. While I'm gone, just make sure to go out of your screen, smash the like button, come back into the stream. I'll be back in 10 seconds. Okay. Okay, so there we go. Sorry about that, guys. The reason why I was looking, I heard a weird sound, but it apparently was outside of my apartment. Just wanted to make sure that everything is fine. Anyways, so where was I? Yeah, that's the reason. That's the reason that I'm talking about. So, what I want to show you guys here is this. Get rid of the sound. So some people were taking some pretty awesome videos here with the augmented reality of this collectible. I mean, you got to give it, no matter how bearish you are on Vivi, but you got to give it to them that these collectibles, they just look awesome, right? No matter how bearish you are currently on the entire NFT space or whatever, or how much you think that there is a topic with regards to interoperability, but you get to give it to them that this one, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Yeah, my place is haunted. Sounds like it, but I still don't know what it is. But the good thing is, right on the side here, I have a window, so I can look at the birds and stuff like that. Why did this defocus now? Just because I looked outside the window. Yeah, so my camera defocused there. But that's something that I wanted to show you here from Vivi Meister, also a fellow YouTuber. Can you refocus? There we go. So and then also Metaverse Live came out. So that's what you can do with the Vivi NFTs right now, basically. Actually, that is yeah, that is not original, but that's what people are doing because of the Vivi collectibles. So they are creating these videos because they're excited about the Vivi collectibles. So am I. I still believe that this is the best project that we have out here, or the best project. The reason why I'm criticizing it is because I want certain features to be there. So I will continue criticizing Veve for things that they are doing. But I want to give out also congratulations, because the collectible burn event, although it had a flaw in the beginning, the crafting event went absolutely seamlessly. It was super good. There was no congestion, and 10,811 collectibles have been removed from circulating supply to craft the soul stone. So that may be the biggest NFT burn event out there, um, in these scales and with this quality. So 2,400 animated Infinity Gauntlets crafted. I also crafted an Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah, so did you guys craft the Infinity Gauntlet? Let me know in the comments below, or in the chat right now, if you crafted one, and if you did use the secret rare Eye of Agamotto. Apparently 807 Eye of Agamotto secret rare have been used to get the airdrop. Yeah, and with that, we are also going to quickly look at upcoming drops here. Get out of my face here with the cookies. There is another Disney Mickey Mouse drop coming up. And Vivi Hadouken is saying, crafted with SRI. Oh, congratulations. So you're getting the Warrior Thanos. I crafted without the SR. I crafted with a rare that I bought for cheap when prices were really low. So I bought some of the stones below retail, and some of the stones I got on drop. But I've never overpaid. I've never paid above drop price for the stones. But I crafted the normal gauntlet. I'll be getting the normal airdrop, and I'll just hodl for years or so. I believe I'll hodl for years, unless it just gives me financial freedom in the next bull run on Veve, then probably I'll sell. But otherwise, I'll just hodl. Yeah, so congratulations to you for that one. So Once Upon a Mouse in the Future series features stories inspired by classic Mickey Mouse set 100 years in the future. So there's this one coming. Not too excited about the Mickey Mouse comics, but there's a collector scene for everything. And yeah, I think that's cool. Looking forward to new IP announcement this week. Mr. Yu made it sound like an important one. That is good. Was that on Randy channel when he chimed in there and gave some insights? Because I've not finished that one, but I'll be doing a Ecomi Veve update video soon, which will include all of these information. Yeah, so let's see what else is coming up. There is a Amazing Fantasy, but 2004-15. So don't confuse that with the original Amazing Fantasy 15 that we already have on the app, which will be coming out, on Randy's stream. Very interesting. I have to finish this one today so that I can comment on that. But then I'll give you guys some thoughts, anyways, on how the status of Veve is right now. Thank you for letting me know, though, or letting us know that there is going to be an important IP coming or being announced this week, and we'll cover it. Yeah, that one was Mother's Day. They haven't dropped anything for this specifically, though, and so this one has already dropped, I think. But it didn't sell out. But as I said, it looks good. And it is a good looking collectible, but it's not something for me that I would spend, I don't know what it is, 50, 60 gems on it. But sure as hell, some creators, as you have seen, really like these types of collectibles. And as I said before, there is a scene for everything of this. Then I wanted to quickly comment on the gauntlet, because I myself, and if you are not following me, make sure to follow me on Twitter. I put out a lot of news updates right when they happen also. I see a lot of people comparing the current price of the gauntlet against the current price of necessary stones. That's only half of the equation. Crafters of the gauntlet get at least one airdrop that is yet to be priced by the market. And I think that the problem here is that some people really try to find a reason to, I don't know, to talk about the decisions of others in the market. So, for example, people say, you crafted the gauntlet, but you could have sold all the gems and then just purchased the gauntlet, because the gauntlet is going for roughly 300, below 300 gems, I think, at the moment in the market. But if you consider that the Thanos airdrop will also go, assuming that the same scarcity is going into the Thanos, then, which is the case, then the Thanos should be going for the same price. So even if the gauntlet would drop down to 200 gems, then it would be still 400 gems that the gauntlet is going for, which is at the point in time the price of the ether, and then plus some others should be going total for 250 each to make it even. But then you have to also consider that there's only, I think, 2,400 of these, both of these collectibles. So if both of these collectibles with that type of scarcity are hitting a bull run, then it's more desirable and more there will be more return from an investment perspective to have these two collectibles than to have some of these stones, or having sold these stones in a bear market. So in my opinion, the better play is the gauntlet, although it takes way more time to be profitable. And this is only the investment perspective, because ultimately, if you are a Marvel fan, you have to have the gauntlet and the Thanos anyways, right? Unless you are also collecting the stones and you have to keep those stones, and also this argument goes out of the window. So in my opinion, yeah, there is a lot of short-term thinking in this market right now. Jimbo Lee Lingo says, I use 2 SRIs and then crafted 3 more of the regulars. I'm still holding 1 SRI, but I think that will remain in my wallet. Holy moly. That's some serious money, though. But congratulations to you. I hope you get all the airdrops right. For those of you who wonder, because after you crafted with the secret rare eye, you cannot see which gauntlet was crafted with the secret rare and which not. But you can prove that you use the secret rare eye on Immutascan looking at your wallet. There is a specific token ID that was sent to the burn wallet, or that has been going out of your wallet, that represents the secret rare eye, that is different from the token ID, which is a normal or a rare eye of Agamotto. So there is a way to prove, in case that something goes wrong with the airdrops later, that you used an eye of Agamotto, a specific one. So yeah, Immutascan will give you that specific information. And by the way, as we have learned on our live stream with Hello K, the mapping of the eye of Agamotto going in and out of your wallet, and that you are entitled to your airdrop, and that you burned these collectibles, that is sent to the layer 1 blockchain that is minted on Ethereum, that is minted on blockchain. Although the NFT token itself is off chain, that proof of ownership, basically who owns which token ID, that is on the L1 blockchain. So you have the tamper proof that you are getting this. Just wanted to let you guys know about this. Apparently, a massive marketing campaign is going to happen as well. David said that they are going to increase the amount of additions of drops. Also, this new IP this weekend is limited. Waitlist drop, question mark. That could be the thing. It could be the thing. They said waitlist drops are coming pretty soon. That could be the thing. I heard also David commenting on some other interesting stuff. So I'll probably make a video about this later today, where I will comment on all of these things, so that we can get all of this discussed, let's say. And also, I'm really missing the fields. So I really need to get into the fields to take another video. So yeah, I need to do an outside crypto video, although it's a little bit cloudy, rainy. So that could be the point that I might have to do it in the rain, but I really need to do an outside crypto video or outside Veve video. Yeah. Jimbo Lee Lingus, thanks to you. Thanks to everyone who is here. Smash up the likes, guys. Please help me with the like button here. It's the only, guys, if you don't do videos, you will never know. But that's the only thing that YouTube cares about, the algorithm cares about at the moment. So if you could do me that favor, I don't need donations, don't need super thanks, don't need, I would like them, but don't need channel members. The only thing that's really important is to get these like buttons and to have a good time with you guys here at the morning coffee. So guys, I really appreciate that. I'll be here tomorrow as well. By the way, forgot to show you one tweet here. Going on a Veve official buying spree today. That was yesterday at 4:18 p.m. Started under 8,600 comics and going for 9,000 today. So definitely, I think in the top 10 already with these collectible stats here. That is Colonel Sets. So yeah, and then he commented right after, 9 hours ago that was, so it's not in our VVX tracker, got the 9,000 comics. So he has 10,687 collectibles, 224 sets, and 3 million MCP points. So that said, him buying around 400 collectibles and now having 10,600, he must be either this or this wallet here. I think it's this wallet then, and maybe some of these purchases are already in here. So yeah, he must be this wallet. He must be number 4 whale, or he's number 5, and he bought like a lot now. 9,000. Nah, it can't be. It has to be this wallet. It has to be number 4. So yeah, as you see, whales are going crazy on the purchases, and I mean, usually what we know is what's going to happen usually is that whales are leading the way in Bitcoin, in altcoins, and also in NFTs. So whales usually front run what's about to happen. And we see that net accumulation is positive among all of the whales. And I always say that, I don't know, I mean, there are not too many whales can fail. But this is a whole lot of conviction, right? Here. And Dr. Prophet has said it in the AMA that I also translated, which is available on my channel, that he's highly convicted, that convinced, let's say, that high conviction. He's highly convinced that that Veve is the way, and that there are very good things coming for Veve. So I'm definitely not going to be one of these people that are completely sitting on the sidelines, even though there are some red flags that we are also discussing here. But I mean, look at this. These guys know about the red flags as well. They are still loading up on these collectibles because potentially there is a market to sell them into. These are investors. These are not only collectors, right? Maybe some of these are collectors, but if you are a true collector, why are you stacking these amounts, right? These are investors, and so are you guys. Almost everyone is a collector. Everyone is an investor. We are both. I'm an investor and I'm a collector. I like both. I like collecting. There are some collectibles that will never leave my Veve account. There are some things that I'll just have them, right? So I think that's it. And yesterday, yesterday I saw the newest video of Sleeping Comics, who is a very big convinced collector on Veve as well, a comic collector, and he has a lot of experience in the collecting space. He also says that basically, he didn't use the words, but basically he says that the narrative of only collect what you like and don't care about the price is bullshit, because everyone wants to collect something that's valuable, and the more it's valuable, the harder the point is where you would let it go. So for example, let's say you have a secret rare comic and it shoots up to 2000, from 100 gems to 2000. You will have a hard time to let it go, right? Because first of all, it can go way higher than that, and secondly, it's now super valuable, and you are one of these few people that own something super valuable, and on top of that, you like that collectible, and on top of that, you only have one of those. So it's really hard to let something go. If you know who Dr. Profit actually is and what he does for a living, you'd see why he is trusted. I know who he is. And what he does for a living, and I also had the honor to talk to him from time to time in private. So I know what he's doing and why he's so convinced. Anyways, because Dr. Profit is German, so I have the pleasure to speak or to exchange a minute or so with him in a private German message. Anyways, guys, with that said, I'll be heading out right now. Please make sure to smash the like button on your way out, subscribe, tick the little bell to always get notified whenever I upload a video. And wherever you are on the world, have yourselves a great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. Thank you so much for spending this morning, evening, afternoon with me, guys. I enjoy these morning streams quite a bit. And see you in the next live stream or video.